All right, what's going on? Hello, hello. How are y'all doing? I see Price in here. How's it going, Price? Ninja? What's good? What's good? Hey, Kayla. I just went and got some water, and turns out there are explosions going off around here. 4th of July celebrations are getting underway. I love it. It's just they're in the distance. I can't hear them with my headphones on, unfortunately. Let me get everything turned on here. How y'all doing? So, we are here at Munich. We're gonna go into Innsbruck. We're gonna do the guaranteed circle to land this time. The last time we went to Innsbruck was a video, and I didn't do the circle to land because I went based off of real winds at the time. But today, doesn't matter what the winds are. We're doing the circle to land. It's fun. But we're in an Austrian A320, the Phoenix A320. Very, very fun plane to fly. And we're on VKBsim. I don't think there's very much traffic around because it's, what, 4 a.m. in Europe. But I figure we'll fly on VKBsim anyway, just in case anybody decides they're going to pop on and control in Europe at 4 a.m. You never know. Could be some real gamers out there. But we're going to go to Innsbruck, and then we're going to leave Innsbruck, hop over to Vienna. And those will be the flights for today. A little bit shorter flights, so probably a little bit shorter of a stream than usual, but get 2 flights in there nonetheless. At least it means you won't have to wait so long to see me completely mess up the circle to land at Innsbruck. So I haven't done anything to get the plane set up. We'll get GSX going. What do you mean, reload sim brief? Too late for my scheduled departure. Okay, whatever. Board the plane anyway. Let's see if it actually works. Unfortunately, no. Explosions are where it's at. Alright. So we should be able to load the aircraft from SimBrief. Like so. Boarding is done. Everything is good there. Something I really do like about this plane. It's how easy it is to get everything loaded. And we'll get this thing turned on. Get our IRSs turned on. Or I guess ADIRs in this plane. Crew supply. Get the emergency light on. Our signs, nav lights. We'll come down this side. There's nothing over here we need to touch right now. It's going to do a self-test. Found out the biggest plane in the world went to... Did it? Was it the the Antonov? Is it 224? I always get them messed up. The names of the Antonov planes. I'm surprised. They must not have been too terribly heavy. All right, we'll jump down here. AOC menu, flight initialization, and we'll request that data. We should fill that in. I mean, to be fair, it surprises me that a 747 could fly to Innsbruck, or Innsbruck, St. Martin. But they did it. Somehow. All right, our flight data's in. We're Austrian 1432, departing Munich, going to Innsbruck. So that should be good. So we can pop back out here to the menu and go to our FMS and get all this plugged in. We'll do an init request. It'll fill in our information and flight plan and everything. There we go. And then we'll align the ADIRs. It looks like this one doesn't fill in our flight number and everything, so I can type that in real quick. 1432. Make sure that's actually our flight number. Yep, Maybe they came to bring some could have been hurricane relief or something like that. That makes sense. All right, cost index is 34. Remember how I said this is a short flight? Well, our cruising altitude is flight level 130. That's how short it is. 13,000 feet. So, a little shorter of a flight, which should still be fun. Let's get our zero fuel weight, 60.9 and 29.9. 60.9, 29.9. Plug that in there, and our fuel is 4.6. So we can pop that in. I should get that all set up there. We got a flight plan, and it looks like the majority of our flight plan is plugged in and good to go. We do need to get our departure plugged in. So let me pull up charts real quick. Wow, yeah. It's a shorter flight, but it should still be fun. It's Innsbruck. Innsbruck is always fun. I just realized I need to get the stream up on my iPad so I can see what you guys see to make sure everything's working good. Like an ATR flight. So this flight is one that somebody requested. Let me give a shout out to person who requested it. They requested it a while ago. And I said I would do it. It's Toystick 2484. So Toystick 2484. I hope I'm saying that right. If you're watching this, here's your flight, man. Thank you for hanging out. Yeah, I also need to get FS Realistic going. It's like an ATR flight. So this flight, I actually had to look in the past because they don't fly this flight with an A320 anymore. So what I think is going on is this is probably in the winter when it's a major ski destination. They probably use a bigger plane for it. But I think right now they use smaller plane. I don't know if they use... I don't know what they use right now. We can look when we get up in the air. I'm not sure. All right. Let me load a profile here. We'll use this one from this dude. Make sure crash screaming is turned off. We'll make sure brakes actually probably should be okay. What else do I need to turn off? Landing applause. Thank God that's off. I hate that. Scary ride, that can turn off. We can turn the touchdown stuff down a little bit so it's not too crazy of a screen shake. Boom. Perfect. Yeah, I had to look back in the past to see who, if anybody, flew an A320 between these two airports. And lo and behold, Austrian did. At least at one point they did. Sweet, I got the stream up on my iPad so I can make sure everything's looking good. All right, let's get our departure plugged in. Like I said, we'll whip out charts. Let me unload and import a flight from SimBrief. Munich to Austria. What in the fuck is going on with my rudder? I just realized. Let's turn off sneezing. Get out of here. Kept hearing, I heard somebody sneeze there. I don't like that. I didn't sneeze. All right, let's look at the METAR. It has us planned for runway 08 right departure. We'll just pop in here. Make sure that makes sense. 260 at 6. So it's probably not the departure we want to use. I'm glad I looked. These freaking fruit flies everywhere, man. So we'll take off 26 left. We'll have to plug in a new departure. We use the Turb 7 Sierra. Perfect. There we go. So taking off 26 left, we'll grab the Turb 7 Sierra. Like so. Get that plugged in there. There's going to be no transition since we're in Europe. I'm going to be fighting gnats this entire time, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know where the hell they came from. They just popped up today. Alright, so we got that plugged in. Make sure there's no discontinuities. There is one here between the last waypoint and Innsbruck, which we'll fix when we get a little bit closer. So that should be good. We'll go to perf. And let me grab the old takeoff calculator. So this website's prads.de. This is what I use for takeoff calculator. Let me get the right view in the sim here to have everything, to get everything typed in correctly. This is what I use as my takeoff calculator for this plane. We'll just plug in A320. Our gross weight is 65516. Our CG is 29.9. We'll use flaps 1. Anti-ice can be off. Air conditioning will turn on. EDDM, we'll plug that in. Get our METAR data, 26 left. So that's all plugged in there. It looks like it is raining. And we'll hit calculate. And it gives us our V speeds, our trim, flex to temp, transition altitude, everything in here. I do like that website. So we'll get that plugged in. 136 is our V1, 144 is our V2, 148 or 144 is our VR, 148 is our V2, flaps 1. The trim is down 0.3. Get that plugged in there. Flex to temp will be 65. And that should be good there. So with that, we are pretty much ready to go. Our QNH is 1013. That's already set. We'll go ahead and set our cruising altitude of flight level 130. Transition altitude 5000 is already plugged in. Can I send the link? Absolutely. Give me just 1 second here. I'll put it in chat. There we go. That's what it is. You can do A319, A320, A320 Neo, A321, and A330. That's what it'll do. We'll hop over to Unicom. 122.8. Get that plugged in here. We'll jump down here, make sure our TCAS is on auto, on TA, and we don't need to change the squawk since there's no ATC. Let's see if we can force it to mode C. Okay, I need to turn it on in TA. There we go. That should be good. Dude, these freaking... I think it's just one fruit fly. That's just bugging the shit out of me. Excuse my French. Alright. So we're ready to go. We'll say boarding's completed since GSX has decided it is not going to work. The boarding is complete. Let's go ahead and get the APU started. Get our fuel pumps turned on. We'll get the beacon on as well since we're getting ready for pushback and engine start. see how far we have to taxi. Might see if I remember how to do a single engine taxi in a A320. Something I do need to do real quick. I apologize for the immersion braking. I need to make sure this is on the A320 profile. There we go. So just to make sure we have throttle 1, throttle 2. We have reverse. We have speed brakes and flaps. Awesome. Sweet. Just need to make sure that that is plugged in correctly. All right, let's take a look and see how far we have to taxi. Whoa, let me not trip you guys out by putting the stream on the stream. You're not gonna work today? Okay, well, we're over here at apron 2. So we'll push back, nose to the right. We don't have a very far taxi at all. So we'll do 2 engines. So let's see if GSX will push us back. Let's see if they're willing to help us out with that. Sweet. We'll use airport service. This, whatever scenery this is, I didn't download a scenery, so this has to be default. But it has Flughafen Munich on the jetways, and I love it. Big fan. Flughafen. I was telling Kayla before I started the stream, I love the German language. It is one of my favorite languages, if not my favorite language. Flughafen. All right, so GSX is getting connected. I turned up the sim sound so we can hear these engines start. The FPS is a little low with the Phoenix, so I apologize if it's jumping around a little bit. Once we get off the ground, should be a-okay. But the FPS is a little finicky with the Phoenix sometimes. I'm gonna go nose to the right, tail to the left. And I need to jump down to the EFB and disconnect some ground services real quick. We'll get the chocks and the GPU disconnected. That should be good. We'll get the APU bleed on. We're going to need that to start the engines anyway. Sounds like somebody is still coughing in the cockpit. That is so annoying. I love FS Realistic, but damn. If I want to hear coughing, I'll do the coughing. All right. So pop over to ignition start. Release the parking brakes. With Airbus, we start engine number 1 first. So we'll get engine number 1 turning. Whoa. Pop over here and get a look at that. It is a rainy day here in Munich. I told y'all last stream I was going to keep you on your toes with which livery I would decide to fly. Went ahead and just went with the newest Austrian livery. I thought it looked pretty good. Once we get into some sunlight, you can really tell. It looks really good. We need to start that clock, and we'll get engine number 2 started. There's the dogs barking. I love the sounds in this plane. They're not like overbearing, but you can still tell some effort went into them.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Alright, we will tell GSX that we have a good engine start.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Unlocking gear.
Everything's looking good there. We have 2 good engines. So we'll jump down here. We'll turn the start switch back to norm. We'll go to flight controls and make sure everything's good. Our rudder is good. And our other flight surfaces are perfectly fine. Make sure the doors are shut. The doors are shut, which is what we want. Pop up here and get the APU off. And then we'll come down here. We need to set flaps 1 for departure. We'll arm the speed brake. And then we need to set a trim of down 0.3. We have that set. So we're good there. We'll wait until our screen switches over to our before takeoff checks. We'll do the takeoff config check. Why do the gnats want to fly around my face? Listen, dude, land somewhere. I dare you. Land, gnat. I dare you. Okay. I think we've given enough time for GSX to get out of here. Let's get this taxi going. Like I said, pretty simple taxi. We're not going very far at all. So we're just going to taxi straight ahead, make a left turn, make a right turn, and then we'll be out of here. So parking brakes released. We'll get some power to get rolling. Dang it, I missed. Gnat landed next to my hand. We need to get the predictive wind shear on. I always forget about that. So we get the auto brakes masked. We'll do our takeoff config check. It's normal. There's no blue, so we're good there. It was a rainy day. I don't think we've taken off in the rain on stream yet. Or if we have, I just don't remember it, which wouldn't surprise me. Sometimes I have the memory of a goldfish. Taxi down here, we'll take this first left turn. We're turning onto Taxiway Sierra. There we go. Then I don't know which taxiway this is. DA14 is the holding point we're going to. So it'll be this next turn right here. Be this one right here. So I believe we should be pretty well good to go. I need to check SimAware. Make sure there's nobody landing here. Oh, there's nobody around us. Sweet. Munich traffic, Austrian 1432 is taking off runway 26 left, Munich. All right, we are good to go. We'll get out on the runway. Let's get the wing light on. Get the logo light, strobe lights to auto. Turn our transponder to TARA. We'll get lined up. Start the chrono. Get our landing lights on. Apparently pop down the compass. Did not mean to do that. It's the 21st century. We don't need compasses anymore. All right, let's do throttles 50%. Is there somebody at the end of the runway? No, it's just the rain. All right, throttles 50%. We're good. All right, Manflex SRS runway nav blue. And we're rolling. Get you some of those engine sounds. 100 knots. We'll release that forward pressure. There's our V1, hands off the throttle. And rotate. We got a positive climb, gear coming up. We are out of here. Into the rain. I'm gonna go autopilot armed. We'll jump down here and get the weather radar rolling here. There we go. It's wanting thrust lever climb. Down to climb. Perfect. We got everything in managed mode, so we should be flying the green line just how we want to. What is up with our thrust lever? Climb. Asymmetrical. There we go. Okay, it looks like we're symmetrical. I've never seen that error before. Weird. I'm just not going to touch the throttles now. I've never seen that. It was saying thrust levers were asymmetrical. So I wonder if my axis mappings are a little bit off. Wouldn't surprise me. There's flight level 50. We'll switch over to standard. We're waiting to get above our flaps retract speed. So there we go. Speed check, flaps up. The flaps are coming up. Need to set the other barrow to standard. You can disarm the ground spoilers. And into the clouds again. Here's a window view for you. So like I said earlier, a pretty short flight relatively. Let me get an ETA for y'all real quick. ETA hasn't popped up yet, so have to wait a little bit longer. Does it need to be a specific aircraft to do forward pressure when taking off? So generally, I've always seen it with 737 and A320. Also 747, they do it. What it does is the reason you do the forward pressure up until 80 knots in a Boeing or 100 knots in an Airbus is it keeps pressure on the nose wheel for steering on the ground. Because below that airspeed, you're not going fast enough where the rudder is going to have a lot of control over which direction the nose is pointing. So pretty much you put that forward pressure on so that the air is going over the elevators and driving the nose into the ground, which keeps pressure on the nose gear so you can keep steering the airplane. Once you cross that threshold, then you can pull out of that forward pressure and the rudder is doing the steering instead of the nose gear. That's how I understand it and why they do it. Hey, look, a rainbow. Look at that. I love Microsoft Flight Simulator, man. There's a friggin' rainbow. I hope you guys can see it on stream. So as far as I understand, they do it with most commercial airliners, at least in videos that I've seen and stuff like that. If you want to get technical, I don't know if they do it with every airliner. But I do it, just force a habit. I've done it for years. Let's jump back up front. We're above 10,000 feet, so we can get the landing lights off. Clean up the airplane the rest of the way for the flight. And I think everything is looking good. Everything down here is set where we need it to be. Weather radar's on in case we come across any red cells. We can go around them. Everything up here is good. We'll turn on constraints for when we do the approach into Innsbruck. And we are at our cruise altitude. Not going up very high at all this first flight. Like I said, this is a little bit, definitely a lot shorter of a flight than I usually do on stream. But, like I said, somebody requested it, and it seems like a fun little flight to do. So, that's why we're doing it. So if I was the captain of this flight in the real world, I would be telling the passengers that I'm leaving the seatbelt sign on the entire flight, since we're flying through these rain cells. Generally, when you're flying through clouds, that's where all the turbulence is going to be. Because the turbulent air is what makes the clouds. Especially with rain and stuff like that. I know weather systems pretty well in the United States. I'm sure it's pretty similar in Europe as well. But a lot of times these clouds will form on fronts. So like a warm front or a cold front pushing through. And a lot of times that front pushing through is turbulent air, which creates storms and stuff like that. So, I would be leaving the seatbelt sign on the entire flight. If you need to get up and piss, that sucks. It's a 27-minute flight. You can hold it. There you go. So let's go ahead and get things set up for the arrival. It's like a speed run of a flight. So we'll pop into Navigraph here. You can zoom out. We're already halfway through the flight. Oh my god. These gnats. It's just one gnat. It's only one, but it just keeps flying in my face, and I hate it. I don't know where the hell it came from, but it's pissing me off. Alright. Let's look at the airport chart. We'll make sure landing runway 08 is what we want to land. That's the circle to land runway. So let me go back to flights, and that is already plugged in. So let's look at our approaches. Okay, 1 second here. Hold on. Let's get situated here. Let's look at our arrivals. Do we have anything from... We want to come from Adwig. So let's look at the charts real quick. So we'll take the RNP from RTT, which is going to bring us down, and then we'll circle and land. The visual approach circle to land is what we'll do. So at 4 miles out, we'll fly out, circle around, and land. But we'll plug in the RMP for runway 08. Just kidding, runway 26. We'll fly the RNP until we get to that point. I think that's how they do it. So I need to plug this in speedrun style because we're already at our top of descent. So arrival. RNAV. No star. No transition. We should be able just to go, I'm looking at this right, go like that, and that gets that plugged in nice and fine like. So let's get our altitude set down. We'll start our descent. And we're already descending into Innsbruck. How about that? I'll give you guys an ETA for shits and gigs. 1346 Zulu in 5 minutes. I'll add a little bit to it. Did I say 1346? I meant 346. We'll do 350 Zulu. It's our ETA there. There we go. So we'll descend down through this. We're gonna have mountains, so we'll get the terrain on here. And yes, at one point this was a real world flight. So let's get our airport information plugged in. Innsbruck weather. The winds are 280 at 2, so we're not going to have too crazy of a tailwind coming into land. Altimeter, or our QNH, is 1014. Temperature is 17 degrees centigrade. Transition level's 10, flight level 10. 100. We'll stick with that. Speed limit exceeded. Oh, it very much is exceeded. Holy crap. We'll throw in some speed brakes. Alright, our baro minimums for the circle to land. It's going to be 3,700 feet. So we got that in. So our approach page is set up. And we are good. So we're below 10,000. We'll turn the landing lights on. Get the wing light on as well. Don't think the ticket will be expensive. Talking about for this flight, or did I already forget what I was talking about? Yeah, the flights in Europe are cheap. Like, you can do EasyJet, Ryanair. I've seen flights that are like $17 US from Ryanair. there are some cheap flights in Europe. It's kind of crazy. All right, so once we get down in this valley, what we're going to do is we're going to start slowing down and we'll get configured as we get closer. So right now we're about 20 miles out. We're actually about 15 miles out. So we'll go ahead actually and start slowing the plane down. We want to work on getting configured for landing. It's a real world flight. Yeah. I can't imagine this flight being too expensive. So let's go flaps 1. Want to make sure we stay on our vertical deviation. Looks like we have rain. I'm hoping we get a visual of the runway. Alright, we should be idle. We are idle. Once we get some regional jets in MSFS, we'll do some more regional hops. I have the Aerosoft CRJ, but I don't know. I could bring that out. Do you guys want to see the CRJ? I know everybody hears Aerosoft and they cringe, but I actually really enjoy flying the CRJ. It's a fun plane to fly. It's not a very fun plane to ride in. Alright, we'll keep our speed coming back. 160 knots. We're about 10 miles from the airport. I'm gonna set 100 feet as our bottom altitude. CRJ is one of your top 5? Well, we'll have to bring it out then. I'll try to plan out. I'm probably not going to be going live on Monday like I did last week, Monday morning, because I got a work morning in the morning, but I might be able to do Tuesday, 4th of July. We'll have a little 4th of July celebration fly around the United States. Could probably whip out the CRJ for that. Alright, we're going into the clouds. Just slightly concerning. If I go manage speed, it pulls us back to our VREF. So we'll go ahead and go gear down. We're in the approach phase, which is what we want. We'll arm the speed brakes. We'll do medium auto brake. Let's go ahead and go full flaps. I'm hoping we're gonna break through these clouds, because if we don't break through these clouds, we can't do the circle to land. None are straight flights. Yeah, there's not a lot of straight flights. Like, this is probably a seasonal flight in the winter, if I had to bet.
2,500.
Because like I was telling you, Innsbruck is a very big skiing location. Like, look at the freaking mountains around here. I'd love to see this in person. This is a beautiful area. Alright, let's see if we can get a visual on the runway. There's the runway. $610 round trip with one stop in Vienna.
100 above.
Alright, 100 above. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take control and we're gonna start the visual. So my airplane. So we'll start our descent a little bit. We'll swing out
Terrain
this way.
ahead. Pull up.
We're gonna get terrain warnings.
Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Wonder if I can inhibit the terrain warning. It would be so beautiful. I've never seen tall mountains In the US, I've seen the Appalachian Mountains, but those are like hills, like these hills here. Those aren't mountains. Alright, so the way you do this visual is I take control, I fly off to the left once I start getting down to minimums. You see our runway there. We want to just keep a visual on the runway. This is easy to do in an Airbus because you don't have to worry about trim or anything. So once you get it flying level, you're flying level. But there's our runway there. We're going to circle around and land on this runway here. So we jump down here. There's our autopilot disconnecting. It's going into the missed approach. So the visibility is not amazing right now, so I'm not sure that they would be doing this IRL at the moment, since the visibility is not great. So start kind of a right-hand turn here and we'll fly right along the side of the mountains here. The aircraft is still managing the throttles. And what we'd actually be looking for, and I need to go back and look at this chart again the next time I do this, is there's actually a church and some other stuff that you look for down here to follow in. I don't know what those are because in X-Plane we don't have those. So I've always just kind of winged it. But there's actually stuff that you look for with the visual approach down here. I think we'll turn and we follow the river, I believe. So I'm just bringing it a little bit to the left again to help with the space that we have in this turn. This is an actual approach they do. So if you're scared of looking out the plane and seeing this, seeing mountains going above you, Innsbruck may not be the place for you.
Pull up.
Alright, so we're gonna get terrain warnings.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
We are aware of those. I think this is the inhibit for the GPWS. Hopefully.
Terrain ahead.
Nope.
Pull up.
So we're gonna swing a right-hand turn.
Ahead. Pull up.
All the way around.
Terrain ahead.
Shut up. I know there's terrain ahead. Relax. I know what I'm doing.
Speed.
So speed's dropping a little bit. That's okay. Just gonna keep this right-hand turn coming. We'll start descending a little bit into the valley. We want to keep an eye out for the airport. Should be in front of us. There's the runway right there. I can see it. And now we just fly it like a visual approach. Although it is a little cloudy, visibility is not great. I'm saying, usually when you do a visual approach, you can see everything really well. But I did say at the start of the stream, we're doing the circle to land no matter what. So we'll just fly it down. Say we don't have a, we have a 1 knot tailwind, so we're looking good. There's 100, getting a little high.
40, 30, 20, retard.
Ooh, firm landing. Damn, I bounced it. Alright, reverser's green. B-cell. That was not a great landing. All right, 60 knots. We'll bring out the reversers. Step on the brakes to bring out the auto brakes. I sincerely apologize to everyone's butts for that landing. That was a firm one. So then we'll circle and backtrack here. I got something kind of cool to show you guys when we get up to cruise for the next flight. I'd figure a lot of you are aviation nerds since you're watching a flight sim stream. So I got something pretty cool to show you that happened, I think just last week. Alright, we'll bring up the flaps. Bring in the speed brakes. We'll stop our chrono. We had a 25-minute flight time. Get our taxi light on, get our strobe light off. Yeah, Kayla, I know you're just being supportive. I know the majority of people here besides Kayla are aviation nerds. Alright, let's find a parking. We're gonna go to parking 3. No, follow me. In Innsbruck Airport. Marshaller has been dispatched. So we'll get the APU started here. You're one of the nerds? Well, hopefully you'll appreciate what I have to show you. It's something that's been a long time coming, and I'm very excited to see what happens with it without giving too much away. We're going to be parking at this gate right over here. So we'll watch for our marshaller. Can we see them? Where are they? Oh, there they are. See them right there. Usually they should be standing there with their hands up in the air so you can see them easily. Okay, we're not going to be very parked very perfectly. We're just going to have to deal with it. Boom. We have made it. Set the parking brake, jump up here, APU is on, we'll get the bleed on, jump down here, and shut them down. We can stop the block timer, 33 minutes block time from gate to gate. Get the beacon off. That wasn't very good parking. You know what? There's no yellow line. Deal with it. And we'll request deboarding. So there you have it. I'm going to jump in here and get deboard. GPU is connected, so we can come up here, turn on the ground power, turn off the APU. Awesome. Welcome to Innsbruck. See the people getting off the plane here. I love this livery. It's just very simple, but it gets the point across. Austrian. So we'll get to see everybody getting off the plane. And while that's going on, I'll go ahead and get things set up for the next flight. So I'll jump into SimBrief and get everything plugged in for that. All right, we're gonna be Austrian 902 from Innsbruck to Vienna. Be the A320 with Phoenix. Our units need to be kilograms because we're in Europe. All that's plugged in nice and fine like. Will generate. Should start seeing people come off. Or somebody. Some lady walking off the plane. Alright, let me get this pre-filed on VKBsim. Boom. Open up the PDF and I'll reconnect to VKBsim. As always, I'm not sure if I said this, but if you have VKBsim, you're looking to fly along with these flights, I don't mind at all. If you're into VKBsim, if not, I totally get it, because whenever I'm not streaming, I don't fly on VKBsim. I just fly to chill. They're taking their sweet time to get out of their seats. I know we got a turnaround to do. I'd be impatient as hell trying to get these people off. This flight's a little bit longer. We're going up to flight level 290, 45-minute flight time. So still shorter than I usually do. Like I said, these are some shorter flights today. But that's all right. So we got that plugged in. Let me get all the flight information reset. Every once in a while, you got to do some shorter stuff. Got to stay humble or something. All right. Try to get these where they fit for the most part. Hopefully. Oh, Lord. LOWW does not fit. That is going to bug the crap out of me when I go back and watch this VOD. It's probably going to bug the crap out of you guys, too. Lord. I found a flaw with my overlay. Anytime I go to Vienna, it's not going to fit. I'm being too much of a perfectionist with the spacing here. That'll work. That'll do it. It already is? Yeah. I apologize. I wasn't thinking about Vienna when I made this overlay. Alright, progress bar is reset. Alright, let me give you guys a decent view here. I'm gonna go use the restroom, get up, stretch my legs. So just give me a few minutes and I will be right back. Alrighty. Hello. I'm back. I was gonna go refill my water, but then I remembered we're in a boil order. The water's not safe to drink. So, I got this Celsius thing, guava and kiwi. I got this at Casey's earlier today. Has kind of a weird flavor, but it's kind of refreshing. All right, let's jump back inside and get this thing set up for a turnaround, shall we? So we'll jump over here. We'll go to my flight. We'll import the next flight. Boom. Innsbruck to Vienna. We'll go to mass and balance. Load the aircraft. We'll do an instant load. Boom. Everything's good. It's so good. I'm gonna have to try it. The marketing on this one isn't so much an energy drink. It's like a fitness thingy. It says it burns body fat. I wonder how that works. But it has essential energy. So yeah. I'm getting some essential energy right now. Okay. So we got the airplane loaded. The turnarounds in this do not take very long at all. We'll go to MCDU menu, ATSU, AOC, flight init. We'll do an init request. And it should fill this in with our new stuff. There we go. Austrian 902 departing Innsbruck, landing Vienna. We have the same alternate as we did the last flight. So that is golden there. So this should be the new load sheet. Let's accept the load sheet. And actually, we'll pull this up on the other side because we'll need this data for the... there we go. We'll need this data to put into the FMC. Maybe it gives you energy to work out to burn calories. Hey, I could see that. Work out and burn calories. Okay. I mean, yeah, I'm not super into like fitness and stuff like that, as you can probably tell. All my intense muscle on my arm. I need to be. But I can definitely see that being the case. All right, AUA 902, we'll put that in there. Our cost index for this flight is 18. We're cruising at 2990. Whoa, we're going high this time. All right, let's see if we can grab this data from here. Zero fuel weight, 56.9. Do we have a CG on here? Mac zero fuel weight, 30.3. Open one left. Did it close the door? Sorry, GSX. You keep doing your thing. I apologize. All right. Fuel. Let's just get our total up here. 5.1. Get that plugged in there. That should be good. Let's get this flight plan plugged in now. So our departure. So we'll look over here in Navigraph. Wrong button. Import from SimBrief. It's going to be the Rattenberg to Quebec off of runway 08. So let's take a look at that. Looks like we'll take off. We'll fly the valley, max speed 180 knots out to Rattenberg. Wants us to fly slow while we're in the valley and we're climbing out. So we should be able to do that. No problem. So go departure, runway 08. Rattenberg to Quebec. Get that plugged in there. There's going to be no transition because we're in Europe. You guys like that because we're in Europe? All right, we'll get our arrival plugged in once we're closer to Vienna. All right, let's do our perf. And then to do this, I'm going to go back to that same takeoff calculator I was using earlier. I'll drag it down here so you guys can watch as well. For A320, our gross weight, takeoff weight 16 points. I don't think that's what I want. I want our gross weight. I don't know if it's going to make a difference. No, doesn't have that. Okay, takeoff weight 16889. Our CG, have to swap down to the screen here. Mac takeoff weight is 29. We'll do flaps 2. AC can be on. We are at Innsbruck. Get METAR and data. Not going to give us a runway length, is it? So we'll have to type that in ourselves. So we have a 2,000 meter runway, and the runway heading is 077. So that should be good. We'll hit calculate, and boom, there's our takeoff data. 127, 127, 133, flaps 2, and we'll be using toga for takeoff. Flaps 2, down 0.1. Awesome. It's the first time it's told me to use toga for takeoff. Let's go 127, 127, 133. What's toga? It's my name. Now, toga is take off go around. So it is the maximum power that you can do in the engines. So when you push the throttles all the way up in an A320, it helps that I'm in this view. Push the throttles all the way up, you get TOGA, and that's max power basically. Some airplanes you can go above TOGA to max, but that's the maximum safe power that you can put through the engines. It's TOGA, and that's what they call it because you're supposed to use it for takeoff or go around. And when you do a go around, usually the first thing you do is you slam the throttles all the way forward, and that puts you into TOGA power. So TOGA, for all intents and purposes, max power. That's what TOGA is. So we got flaps 2 down 0.1. That's awesome. Flex to temp not needed since we're going to be using full power for takeoff. Got our load sheet is already accepted. I don't know why I did accept again. Look at our chart. There is no top altitude, but the transition altitude is 10,000. So I put that in wrong. 10,000 transition altitude. No top altitude. So we'll go ahead and put in our cruise altitude of flight level 290. Try to get this into managed. Uh-oh, what did I just press? Oh, that's meters. Okay, that should go into managed mode once we get off the ground. QNH is 1014, we already have that plugged in. Looks like we're gonna beat GSX's deboarding. Let's go down here, go transponder to TA. 2,000 feet, or 2000 squawk. Wow. And our radio set to 122.8 Unicom, so we're good there. So we get the APU started. You guys will listen to the APU starting up. And then I'm just going to reset position for pushback since GSX is taking its sweet time. We're connected to VKBsim. There's nobody else flying around Innsbruck, so we should be good. Let's see, will it actually get these passengers deboarded in a good amount of time? Walk faster, dude. You're the last guy. Get on the bus. He's the last guy. There we go. Deboarding is complete. No. Baggage unloading is still going on? Bro. The hell have you been doing this entire time, GSX? Good lord. Sometimes I wonder. Prepare for pushback and departure. We'll use Innsbruck Airport. Awesome. Get the APU bleed on. I'm so impatient. This program takes for freaking ever. It's ridiculous. Alright.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
We do have a company message. We can take a look and see what that is. It's our new load sheet. Nothing should be crazy different. It looks like everything's pretty much the same. Just dumb down the numbers a little bit.
Torture check completed. Alpha's been inserted.
So there we go. We got our souls on board in case we have an emergency. So what they'll ask you if you declare an emergency: amount of fuel and number of souls on board. All right, so we'll go nose right, tail left.
Locking gear.
Perfect. For the weight, yeah, they want to know the weight. So the reason they want to know that is, number one, you're telling ATC how much fuel you have, so they know what they have to work with in terms of vectoring you around and trying to get you back into the airport. The number of souls, they want to know how many people are on the plane. How many people they need to expect to be evacuating the plane. How do I get the sound and the landing turbulence? That is a program called FS Realistic. So it adds all these different settings in here. So we got like airframe, airflow, brake sounds, breathing sounds, G-forces, the ones that's the turbulence when I land. That is, shoot, where is that? Touchdown main, touchdown front. You can do a preview of it there. But I'll put a link in the chat real quick. That's where it's at. It's a paid program. Honestly, in my opinion, it costs a little too much for what it is, but it's also really nice to have. It adds a little bit level of immersion to it. Here is the link
Release parking brake.
on Sim Market. There you go. Can you get it on Xbox? I don't think so. I think it's only a PC thing. Unfortunately. It's taken a while for a lot of stuff to get ported over to Xbox, and I feel bad for you guys on Xbox because it takes forever for things to get ported over there. I really wish they'd step it up. But the emergency thing, yeah, they want to know how many people, how much food you have, and another reason for that is
Commencing push.
when you declare an emergency,
Start at will.
the first thing they'll do is they're going to roll emergency vehicles, so fire trucks, ambulances, and they want to know if you have a decent amount of fuel, how much of a fire risk that is. So a lot of times what you'll see is when they declare an emergency, plane lands, they're going to douse it in foam to make sure a fire doesn't start. When's the A330 coming? Or A380? I have no idea. Fly-by-wire, I think, is making the one for MSFS. They've been making it for a while. And they're taking their time, which I think is a good thing. So hopefully they're going to give us a good product. But I have absolutely no idea. Yeah, I wish I knew more, but I don't. I apologize.
Set parking brake.
Set the parking brake.
Your confirmation for good engine start.
I'm going to go ahead and tell them we have a good engine start, just so GSX can bugger off.
Cockpit to ground.
We have a good engine start on the
Unlocking gear.
left engine. Let's go ahead and start the right engine. You can hear the hydraulics barking away. I love it. Yeah, we got a lot of cool planes coming out. Obviously, A380 eventually. I'm really excited for that. I don't think we're going to fly it a whole lot on the channel, but we'll definitely give it some hours. Because, I mean, it's the A380. It's the biggest passenger plane in the world. You have to fly it, right?
Clear, right is clear.
And of course, with fly-by-wire making it, I think it's going to be good. We have a 757 coming out. It's like my favorite jetliner, one of my favorite jetliners with the MD-80. It's the 757. It's a new developer. They released some screenshots of it. I'm pretty excited for that. We also have two A300s coming out. One of them is an older cockpit layout, and the other one is AnyBuilds, which everybody has the AnyBuilds A310 because it comes with the sim. It's not the pro version. It's kind of a base version, but it's good nonetheless. And then of course the MD-11 by TFDI. I'm excited for that because the TFDI 717 and P3D, one of my favorite planes I've ever flown in a sim, and I really wish they'd bring it to MSFS. I really wish they would. What does your yoke joystick look like? So if you go to the description of the stream, you scroll down a little bit, you'll find peripherals, and my joystick is there. It's the VKBsim Gladiator NXT. It's like a fighter jet joystick, but it is really nice to use. It feels really great. And then along with that, the throttle quadrant is the Honeycomb Bravo throttle quadrant. I would show you, I don't have an easy way to move my camera around, or I would show you, but if you go down there, if you search that, you'll find pictures of it. Two products I definitely recommend. All right, so we'll get trim, down 0.1, not a lot of nose down trim. That's good. We'll go ahead and set flaps 2. There's flaps 2. Check our doors. All the doors are shut, so we're good there. We can come over here and arm the speed brake, turn our start switch back to normal. We'll jump up here and turn the APU off. So we are good there. And we are pretty well set. We'll get taxiing. Got the taxi light on already. Nice. I left that on. Accidentally clicking the compass again. Release the parking brake and get rolling. Thanks. Yeah, no problem. No problem at all. Love my vids. Hey man, I appreciate it. I really do. It's kind of a fun hobby thing I like to do, and it seriously means a ton that people are enjoying it. It really does. I never expected. I know we're only at 54, 55 subscribers, which I'll be real, that's 55 more than I thought I'd ever get, and I'm super thankful for it. So I really do appreciate you guys hanging out and tuning in. It makes this nerdy hobby that I love worth it. So thank you. We'll do our takeoff config test as well. Boop. Perfect. Awesome. So we're going to taxi down to the end here. We'll have to do a little bit of a back taxi. Since it's given us a toga takeoff, we probably want to use the whole runway, since it's wanting us to do max power for takeoff. I don't know what's going on with the ground textures here, but a little bit of a bump there. Nothing too crazy. We have a company message. We can check that once we get up in the air. I think it's probably just going to be another load sheet. This plane likes to send load sheets left and right for some reason. Innsbruck traffic, Austrian 902's backtracking, runway 08. Innsbruck traffic. Alright, we're on the backtrack, so we'll get our strobe lights on, our wing lights on. We'll just get everything on except for the landing lights since we're not taking off yet. And we'll get our transponder to TARA, so if anybody's landing, we'll get a traffic alert. Hopefully we'll take off into some clouds and stuff again. That was pretty fun, the last takeoff. Departing into the clouds. We'll see if I can do a good turn on to center. I usually struggle with these. Getting lined up with the center of the runway. So we'll do this turn here. That's actually not bad. That almost makes up for the terrible landing I had. All right, there we go. So we got no other traffic. Need to reset the block timer and get that rolling. Whoops. Start the chrono. Get the landing lights on, and we'll go 50% on the throttles. Let the engine spool up. We're stable, off the brakes, and toga. So we got Mantoga SRS, nav blue, no runway. I don't know what's going on with that, but should be normal. Or should be okay. It's 100 knots. There's our V1 rotate. We're out of here. Positive climb. Gear coming up. We'll follow the flight director. There's your view of the mountains there. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. That looks great. Let's keep following the flight director. We'll get an acceleration, but it's going to want us to stay below 180 knots. Let's go thrust lever climb. There we go. We're going to accelerate to 180 knots. We'll go speed checked, flaps 1. And we're going a little fast for the departure. I'm just hand flying it for now. So we're gonna leave flaps 1 in until we get accelerated past 180 knots. Get the autopilot on. Can you see all my planes? What do you mean? Like all the planes I have installed? Like every plane I have in the sim, or... I can't show you at the moment because I'd have to go back to the main menu to pull that up, which would cancel the flight that I'm doing. I tell you what, after we land at Vienna, I can go to the main menu and I can show you the different add-on planes that I have installed. Does that work? Because I don't want to cancel the flight to go to the main menu, because then I have to start the flight over. You know what I mean? But yeah, I can show you the planes I have installed after the flight. I don't have a whole lot of add-on planes, so I won't show you the planes that come with the sim, because everybody has those. But we can look through some of the add-ons I have. I don't mind doing that. How long will that be? Let's find out. Just make sure everything's looking good here. We have 180 knots. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Let's check our ETA. We don't have an ETA yet. Should be about 45 minutes flight time. So probably, I'd say about 40 minutes from now, 30 minutes from now, somewhere around there. It's probably how long the flight will be. If I had to give my best guess. So once we pass this waypoint here, we're going to accelerate up to our climb speed, which would be 250 knots until we get above 10,000. Which it's doing. There we go. Up to 250. We are out of the mountains, so basically what it wanted to do was just keep us slow until we get above these mountains. And now that we're above the mountains, we're okay to go ahead and accelerate. So we got speed check, flaps up. So we'll bring our flaps up. We'll go to standard altimeter. That's good, and we're above 10,000 feet, so we can turn the landing lights off, get the plane cleaned up a little bit. We'll just keep on climbing out of here. Where am I from? I am from the U.S., United States. I'm from Missouri in the United States. Smack dab in the middle of the continental United States. I told you guys I'd show you something pretty cool, all you aviation nerds. So let me get that pulled up real quick. What the nut is going on? What the? I don't know what's going on with my camera real quick. I was going to give you guys a good angle. There we go. Switched out to the drone camera. Here's our livery. Kind of zoom out a little bit. Zoom in on our livery. Beautiful Austrian livery. Love the way this plane looks. Alright, let me find this video. Alright. Context. So recently, the restoration of a Lockheed Constellation in the United States has been finished. So I saw this video on Facebook. This is one of the first takeoffs of this newly restored Lockheed Constellation, and this is what an airplane should sound like. So I hope your ears are ready. It's one of the most beautiful airliners that have ever existed. But this is super exciting. We haven't had an airworthy Constellation in the US for a while, so it's super exciting to have one now. So that is that. There's some pictures that have been posted. It's been flying almost every day since they got it airborne again. I assume they're probably going through airworthiness checks and everything, but some super cool stuff. So we have an airworthy Lockheed Constellation in the US. Finally. There's one in Kansas City that the museum that has it has been going through some really rough stuff recently. But let's see, let me see if I can get you a couple pictures of the of this Constellation. This is a 049 or 049 749 Constellation, so it's shorter than the more famous Super G Constellation. Here you go. Give you guys a couple pictures and then we'll jump back into the sim. But they've been working on restoring this plane for 8 years. And they finally got it in the air. This is what it looks like. Iconic triple tail. A beautiful plane. Like, everybody says Concorde's the best looking plane. Everybody says the 747's the best looking plane. My vote is the Constellation. Got old steam gauges and everything. So if they got some more pictures of it. Oh, here's somebody else's video. Ooh, flyby shot. I know we like flybys. Everybody likes flybys. It's the way an airplane is supposed to sound. Skipped a little too far ahead. So, obviously, this is a 4-engined gasoline guzzling airliner. Runs on avgas. So, obviously, it's very expensive to operate. So if by chance anybody here is filthy stinking rich and you want to throw some money in a good cause, it is the Lewis... Oh crap, what was the name of it? How's it going, Tim? Lewis Air Legends. It's the museum that has the Baton constellation. So if you're rich and you want to throw money at something, there you go. It's an old warbird that deserves to be in the air. You really want the 737-800, but it's $100. Yeah, see, I get that. I get that. I really do. A lot of I just lost my train of thought. A lot of flight sim add-ons are quite expensive. But especially with PMDG, you're getting an add-on that's worth its weight in money. Now, when it comes to buying every plane that PMDG puts out, I don't know about that. Because they got how many versions of the 737, and they're all like $60, $100. But I'd say get one of them because you won't regret it. Love this? Your thing? Yeah. I love it too, man. I love it too. I absolutely do. Let me get the arrival plugged in here real quick. Gonna be landing runway 16, ILS 16. We got the Nema 2 Whiskey. That plugged in. It's gonna be no transition because we're in Europe. And we're at the end of the... Let's go heading track. Have to get that inserted. And then we can go direct to Nemal. Insert. Awesome. That's plugged in. You recommend to fly for the next video? Yeah. I'm not opposed to that at all. Alright, we do have a top of descent. Sweet. Yeah, just go ahead and let me know. I will, I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can get put together. Airlines? Yes, sir. Give you some more external shots of this. Shut up, Siri. I'm not talking to you. Give you some more external shots of this A320. Of this thing. I do want to bring out the PMDG DC6 on stream. Would you guys be opposed to that? A little bit classic airliner. I know it's a little bit different than the stuff we have today. Frederick, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. I did mention it. I'll go ahead and show you guys. We have a, around where I live, we have a Lockheed Constellation that a museum has done a beautiful job at restoring. I'll show it to you guys. It's a beautiful one. Queenstown to Christchurch. 737 or A380. I'll see what I can do. I don't know if A320, not A380. I'll see what I can do. I know I can definitely do an A320 on that route. I'll try to do the 737 if I can. But we'll see what we can do. Air New Zealand, Qantas, or Virgin. All right. I was actually looking at going down to that side of the world for the next video, so that works out perfectly. Your mom is asleep and your dad? R2? I hear that. Alright. Got home from a full day of shopping? Oh man. That sounds like a busy day. Gotta go? No worries, no worries. Alright, let me see if I can find a good quality picture here. Alright, so this is our Lockheed Constellation around where I live. This is what it looks like. They've done a really good job of restoring this plane. It hasn't flown in years though, because the museum's going through some a real rough spot at the moment. But this is the most beautiful airplane that has ever existed. Hands down, in my opinion. Just look at that thing. The 4 radial engines, the beautiful livery, Transworld Airlines, the tip tanks, triple tails, the black nose. I love it. I'm such a nerd. Alright. We'll go ahead and hang out inside for a little bit. We're coming up on top of descent. Somebody has made a Lockheed Constellation for Microsoft Flight Simulator, but I don't know if it's any good or not. So I've kind of held off on buying it. Search up Queenstown. Alright, I will here in just a sec. Let's just get descending here and we'll take a peek. You flew on a DC-3 IRA. I am so jealous. I am so jealous of you, dude. I want so bad to fly on a classic prop liner. You know, we got people, listen. We got people who are paying $250,000 to go see the Titanic. We got people that are going to be paying $450,000 to go into space. My $250,000 trip is flying on a Lockheed Constellation. But I'll take any classic prop liner, DC-3, DC-6, anything from that era. I would love to fly on one of those someday. All right, we have ATC that just popped up. Where are they at? Oh, they're in... Okay. They're in Denmark. Don't have to worry about them. They're a long ways away. All right, we just crossed our top of descent. I missed the pull on the switch. Cargo flight with a single pilot who offered a round trip for free. Man. So I want to make a trip someday up to Alaska, because they still fly a lot of classic airliners up there, or to northern Canada. don't know if you guys have heard of Buffalo Airways, but they fly a lot of DC-3s and older prop liners like that. But there's a few cargo airlines in Alaska who still fly DC-6s. And I would love to see one of those someday, but a round trip on a DC-3 for free, that is a hell of a deal, my guy. I'm jealous. All right, let's take a quick peek at Innsbruck. Or Innsbruck, Queenstown. There we go. We'll check flight radar, see what routes we got going in and out between Queenstown and Christchurch. NZQN. Since you guys are here hanging out in the stream, I'll give you guys the teaser for what's coming the next edited video. Why not? We're going to do Queenstown to Christchurch, but we'll see what we have in terms of options here. Looks like we have A320. Okay. I can do that. What the hell did I just click on? Christchurch. I want to click on the flight, not the tail number. Alright, looks like they flew A320. This looks basic enough. I could get this recorded. No problemo at all. Cool. I love New Zealand. I'd love to visit New Zealand someday. Alright, how are we doing? We are above our... Let's throw out some speed brakes to help us descend a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and go full speed brakes. Missing that top of descent was not very helpful for our descent profile. More drag. I'm working on it, plane. Don't worry. We'll go ahead and get our destination data plugged in as well. So if I go over to Navigraph charts and pop those up, look at Vienna. Vienna charts. You can come for free. Hey, I'll be honest, the hotel in New Zealand from where I'm at is the least of my concerns. It costs about $3,000 to fly to New Zealand from where I'm at. Actually, the last time I checked, it was about $5,000 round trip. But that's pretty cool. Got a hotel in the family. That's what's up. All right, 160 at 6. 15 degrees centigrade is the temperature. 1012 is the altimeter. Awesome. What time is it over there on that side of the world? Australia, New Zealand? You're gonna be moving to Australia on July 1st? Damn, moving to Australia, man. That's so cool. See, that's something to me who... I live in the US, right? And like, if we're talking about moving countries, like moving to Canada, doable. It's land border just north of us. Moving to Europe, I guess it's kind of doable, but moving to the other side of the world in Australia, New Zealand, that area, I just can't even imagine. Like, it's one of those places that it's like I can't even imagine visiting because it's just so far away from where I'm at. But I would absolutely love to someday. The flip am I typing in? Hold on. Just typing in random crap now. Hold on one second. What am I doing? Let's select an approach. ILS runway 16. There we go. Let's get our minimums. 797. Get back on track. I start talking while I'm doing stuff, and then I just start typing in random numbers, apparently. $3,000 to fly from Kansas City to Auckland. Yeah. I got a buddy who lives in New Zealand, and I don't know if he knows this, but a goal of mine someday is to travel to New Zealand and go get a pint. Go get a drink with him. Feel like it'd be a fun time. But it's ridiculous to... From where I'm at, it's hard to get to that side of the world, unfortunately. Girlfriend lives in Australia, so it'll be a bit easier. That's what's up. That's pretty cool. Getting to move to a new country, and you already have somebody there who you know, who you trust. That's got to be a big help. That's pretty cool. So, Frederick, if you don't mind me asking, what country do you live in now? How far are you having to travel to move to Australia? Queenstown has a dope approach as well. We've done, back when I used to stream on Twitch, we've done Queenstown a few times, and I do really enjoy it. It's a fun approach. It's been a while. It's definitely been a while. The farthest family I have that lives from me. Let's see, like if I was gonna move somewhere where I would know somebody that lives where I'm moving, the farthest place I'd be able to go is New Jersey. From where I'm at. Because I know people that live in New Jersey. But I don't have any family or anything that lives outside of the country, outside of the United States. All right, we're through 10,000, so we'll get the landing lights on. Our transition altitude's 10,000. Transition levels by ATC, so we can assume that we would have already gotten it. So we'll pop that, go to 1012, which is the QNH here. One of the awesome things about flight simulators, especially Microsoft Flight Simulator, is you can go to a place in the world that you've never been before and actually get an idea of what it looks like. So I can look at this and be like, oh, so that's kind of an idea of what Austria looks like. Now, obviously, in a flight simulator, it's not perfect, but that's one of the things I really like about flight simulators and why I fly so much outside of the United States. And like the first stream I did on YouTube, I flew to my area. The closest airport to me is Kansas City. So I flew to my area. I like doing that too, because you can see what it looks like. But I don't do that very often because I like to see other places. Places I've never been. So that's something I really like about flight simulators. Especially Microsoft Flight Simulator, where the ground textures look amazing. It uses Bing Maps to generate the terrain and the autogen and everything like that. So it gives you a pretty decent rendition of what an area would look like, surprisingly. Born in the USA, raised in South Africa until high school, moved to the USA, now... Oh, man. You've been all over the place. Well, nice. So you're making the move to... You're making that long move. Well, hey, good luck. I hope it goes smooth. I hope it goes well. You're doing something I could only dream of doing. I don't know if I'd actually, for me personally, I don't know if I'd actually move to Australia, but either way, that is super cool. That's super cool, man, and I wish you the best of luck. I hope it goes smooth. I hope it goes well. And when it's all done, if you're around, let me know how it goes. Let me know how it goes. I hope it goes well. You have MSFS on Xbox. It's not so good. Which Xbox do you have, out of curiosity? Is it Series X, Series S, the original Xbox One? I'm curious. For my own research purposes. Never tried I've never tried MSFS on Xbox. I have an Xbox. I've never tried it. I really need to one of these days. You got the S? Gotcha. I don't know. I may have to try it sometime because I can try it. I have a original year one Xbox One, and I have an Xbox Series X as well. For a while there, me and a few buddies were trying to get real good at Halo, and Halo's not in a great place right now, so we kind of stopped doing that. But I got a Xbox for that. But I should try it. I think all my stuff works with Xbox, like my joystick and throttles and everything. Currently living with a friend in your suitcase for the longest flight of your life, LAX to Sydney. The Xbox One won't work? Gotcha. Okay. That's good to know. The Xbox One is starting to get dated. I mean, for a lot of games, it's still probably fine. If you have an Xbox One, don't feel shame that you have an Xbox One. I used it all the way up until last year when I got my Series X, and it works just fine for a lot of modern stuff. But Microsoft Flight Simulator is a really intensive game. It pushes my computer to its limits. Old lady going to bed, Kayla? Good night, sleep well. I'll text you here in a bit. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you sleep good. Living with a friend, your suitcase. So, LAX to Sydney. So, are you taking LAX to Sydney? Do you have to fly again once you get to Sydney? That's a long flight. That's a really long flight. That's the thing. I was talking with Kayla the other day about if I were to fly internationally. As an aviation geek, I love flying, don't get me wrong. But I don't know if I could sit in economy for a 7, 8, 9, 10, 11-hour flight. I'd have to like save my butt off and get business class or something. I don't know if I could do it. It'd be hard. All right, if we look at the approach that we're going to be doing here, let's kind of zoom in on our nav screen. We're going to make a left-hand turn and we'll do a turn for final. I don't know if it put in the ILS correctly, but this is what we got. We'll stick with it. It'll work just fine. Gotta go. See you next stream. Hey, I appreciate you hanging out, man. Hope you're doing good. Like I said, I'm going to try for a morning stream. I guess morning my time. Probably on Tuesday, the old 4th of July, America Day. But that's not guaranteed. If I end up doing it, I'll schedule it so you guys see it in your sub box. But it's not guaranteed. I don't know what I'm doing on that day. I know I'm off work, but outside of that, I don't know what I have going on, so I can't guarantee anything. If not, Next Thursday, guaranteed, 10 p.m. Central Time. The guaranteed stream. Girlfriend picks you up in her car and drives you home to Adelaide. It's gotta be a long drive. I'm curious. Actually, let me make sure I don't dox myself real quick. I pull this up. It's got Adelaide. I guess Adelaide's not as far west as I thought it would be. $14 hours? Holy shite. Good luck on that car ride. That's a long ride. Good lord. Well, I guess with it being around 4 to 5 p.m. in Australia, it's probably rush hour at the moment. That would be a fun drive. See, this is something, maybe not this far. Driving's cheaper than airfare. I believe it. I'd believe it. I don't know if I would want to go this far, but if I ever go to a different country, I want to get my international driver's license, rent a car, and drive. Because I feel like driving, you get to see a whole lot more than you do just flying. So, like, I want to go to... Probably one of my priorities of places outside the US I want to visit is the UK. So if I go to the UK, I want to get an international driver's license. I don't know what's involved in that. I don't know how difficult that is, but it's something I want to do. I want to get an international driver's license so I can drive in the UK. Have to deal with the speed cameras. We don't have those where I live. We don't have speed cameras. Yeah, a lot of places around here flying is, especially in the US, flying is expensive. Flying has become more of a, it's more of a convenience thing. But it is cheaper to drive almost anywhere. Unless you can get some really good deals. Like sometimes in the US, Southwest has some really good deals. Like $60 flights. So if you can book two $60 flights, it's $120 round trip before fees. It'd be hard to beat that with driving. But, zoom out on my mouse. Try to give you guys a good cockpit view. That's something you want there? Born in New Orleans, grew up till 9th in Cape Town. Now moving to Adelaide. Man. You're gonna have some stories to tell. I never put in the ETA. I apologize. I always forget to put in the ETA. I think I'm just gonna switch it to where it automatically does it with Fly Live, because I keep forgetting to put in an ETA. Am I in the Neo or the CO? I am in the CEO. It's the Phoenix A320. I'm not sure if it's on Xbox. But yeah, it is the A320 CEO. That's what it looks like there. Did I see your PFP? I don't know if there's an easy way for me to do that. Let's try here. Oh, I see, I see. Does it have a cabin? It does have a cabin. So if I jump in here, I think actually if I do this, can jump here, kind of move around a little bit. I'll show you the cabin. This is probably, yeah, this is a custom cabin that somebody made. There you go. There's your A320 cabin. Sick. Yeah, I mean, I always love when developers put in a nice cabin. It doesn't have to be super fancy, but I always love it because I love doing when I do the wing views. I love having the window, the view of the window and everything. Some people do them where you don't see the window. They'll put it on the outside of the aircraft so you have no window or anything. I like the window. It's just what I prefer. Come to this side. You got the window around and everything. So I like having the cabin. Girlfriend got your entire outfit? Hey. There you go. Alright, so I think we're going to have to play around with this approach a little bit. Because it's bringing us... It's going to make us do a really sharp turn. So what we're going to do is we'll swing out to the left, and then we'll do a turnaround to get on the approach. Like I said earlier, I don't think it put in the approach correctly. But, we'll deal with it. Should be alright. Pop that. Let's get our speed to manage speed. Start pulling our speed back a little bit. We'll make this turn here. And it looks like 5,000 is going to be our intercept. So we'll put in 5,000. We'll keep this descent coming in. Want to get the CEO, but your mom won't give you $20. Hey. I'm at the point in my life where I make my own money, which is great because I can spend it on flight sim add-ons, but it also sucks because I have bills. Enjoy not having bills as long as you can, because when they come, they never stop. Did I like your cat? Oh, is it the oh, what airline is it? I freaking love that, the Tiger 747 livery. What airline is it? I forget. It's a Russian airline, isn't it? I freaking love that livery. Sadly, Russia's not on my liked places at the moment. But that's alright. Still a really cool livery. Tomorrow in your sim, you're going to be doing infinite flight, Adelaide to Auckland and back. Hey, that's what's up. That's a decent length flight. How do you like infinite flight? I've heard of a few people using it, but I've never gotten the opportunity to ask what people think of it. I feel like a lot of people, when you bring up infinite flight, who are doing like X-Plane or Microsoft Flight Simulator or P3D, are like, ugh, infinite flight, ugh, terrible, ugh. But I just don't know enough about it. It's great. Yeah, that's what's up. I feel like a lot of people get real, how dare you? This is not one of the big three, but and my take is I don't care what you fly in, as long as you're having a good time, that's what's up. I got a lot of friends. Most of my friends use X-Plane. I like Microsoft Flight Simulator. I don't have X-Plane installed anymore. I need to reinstall it because I want to try out auto ortho. But hey, fly what you enjoy. That's what matters. If you're having a good time, that's what's up. All right, so we're started a decent amount out. We're gonna go ahead and start a right-hand turn to get us on the ILS. So if I switch this to nav, we can see where our heading bug is as we turn. So we're just gonna turn to like 060. We'll start this turn around. So we already have our landing information in. Let's go auto brake low for this landing. We can start getting things set up. We'll arm the speed brakes because I don't think we're going to have any issues slowing down. So that should be everything good. I'll switch this back to arc. We'll zoom in a little bit. We got that turn there. Done. So now we're just going to bring the heading over for a good intercept. Of course, 100 should be fine. We'll go ahead and drop flaps 1 since we're below the bug. We'll pull our speed back to 210. There we go. Starting your piloting career in 2 months with flights. No sick flight sims. Hey, that's what's up. Gonna be a pilot. I'm super jealous. I wish I was able to be a pilot, but the best I can do is a flight simulator. And I love it. Go ahead and arm the approach. So our approach is coming in. It's captured the localizer. It's gonna overshoot a little bit, but we have the localizer captured, so we're good. Now that we're turning on, we're gonna pull the speed back again, 180 knots. So we've overshot the localizer, but it'll swing us back around and we'll re-intercept. Doesn't have to be perfect. And there's not a parallel runway we need to worry about, so we should be okay. So we're back to 180 knots. Let's go flaps 2. Speed checks. We're not going to be in the overspeed. Never too late, they say. Eventually, I'm going to get my PPL, private pilot's license. It's a life goal of mine. I don't think I'll ever be able to be an airline pilot. By the time I'll be able to afford it, I'll be too close to aging out. But I do want to get my private pilot's license, and I want to get multi-engine certification. So I can fly planes with more than one engine. Why? It's just it's ridiculously expensive here in the U.S. to get a pilot's license. How much is a PPL? According to Indeed, the cost of earning your PPL, which is your private pilot's license, that's what we call it in the U.S., between $15,000 and $20,000. I don't have that. Currently enjoying the stream, eating 2 cookie. Alright. Live your best life, my guy. Live your best life. I don't judge. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I don't judge. It's 100K because you want to be an airliner? Yeah, so in the US, you have to go PPL, then you have to get your instrument rating so you can fly IFR. Then you have to get your multi-engine certification. Then you have to get your your CFI, which is your flight instructor. Then you have to get your commercial pilot's license. And then you have to build up hours. And then you have to get your ATP, which is your air transport pilot, which is you can work for an airline. But a lot of airlines won't hire you until you have 1,000 hours flying. So then you have to pay to get your 1,000 hours. And then you can get hired for a regional airline.
2,500.
And a lot of regional airlines aren't going to pay you a whole lot of money to fly for them. So it's kind of a lengthy process here in the US. And everybody wonders why there's a pilot shortage. All right, we get the landing lights on. So we're good to go. Go ahead and drop the gear. We'll go to manage speed. So it'll bring us back to our VREF. Let's go speed check flaps 3. There we go. It'll start slowing us down decently here. We have our speed brakes armed, flaps 3, gear down, auto brakes low. We're set up. We'll go ahead and go flaps full. And I will take control. My airplane. We're slowing down at a decent pace. I'm gonna kind of fly the flight director at the moment until I can see the pappies. How long do you think it'll take to become a pilot? Well, in the United States, I don't know what the regulations are where you are, but in the United States, you have to be 21 to become a airline pilot. So if it's the same there, it'll take you till you're 21. But I don't know. It varies by country. And I know the US is looking at changing that requirement because there's such a shortage of pilots right now. Not the money for you, it's the experience. For me, it's most definitely the money. It's very expensive. Alright, we're looking good. We're stable. We have a perfect headwind. 11 knot headwind directly onto us, so that's what we want to see. 500 feet checked. So we can kind of sidestep it over a little bit and get back onto the center line. So now I'm looking at the pappies, so we're a little bit low.
100 above.
There we go. We got 2 white, 2 red. Keep it coming down. Continue. We're stable. A little bit high.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard.
Oh, I floated again. Good lord. What is my problem recently? Alright. Reverse is green. Decel. I don't know what my problem is today. I cannot land a plane. 60 knots. Bring the reversers out. And 40 knots. We'll get off this auto brakes. We'll take this turn off here. Wish you had money to donate. Don't donate your money to me. Use your money for what you want to use it for. I don't need your money. Get the airport chart up here, and we're just gonna go pick a random gate. We'll get GSX going once we get there. We can go ahead and bring the flaps up, get the speed brakes in. Get our lights set up. We'll get the APU coming on here. Get the strobe lights turned off. I think I do have a gate written down. for which gate to park at. I think it's 33 Foxtrot. I don't know if GSX will identify that, but we'll give it a try. We'll see if GSX wants to work today. 33F. I don't want to follow me. Awesome. So we'll see if we can get parked up at the actual right gate. I have very little faith in GSX that it's going to be at the correct gate, but we'll try. All right, APU starting up. Everything's looking good up there. We'll get the TCAS over to TA. We can get the weather radar turned off so we're not blasting everybody with radiation. There we go. We got the APU on. We can get set up for a single engine taxi. So we need to do electric pump for yellow. Turn that on. So those hydraulics are still pumping. Then we can shut down engine number 2. It's got the single engine taxi going on. I remembered how to do it. So turn into the gate at this next turn in up here. And GSX hopefully should be waiting for us when we get there. I think I see ground stuff for GSX over there. I'm hoping, anyway. This is just default scenery. No crazy add-on scenery today for any of the airports. Innsbruck is the handcrafted scenery. I don't know which edition of the sim that handcrafted scenery comes with. I'm gonna taxi back out this way so we can make a nice turn into the gate. So make turn here. Let's go ahead and get our taxi light off. Just did Queenstown to Christchurch. How was it? How was it? Alright, this is our gate here. So we got the marshaller. Oh, he's looking this way. This is a dotted line, so I didn't think this was the turn on. I thought it was going to be a diagonal thing, but I guess not. Amazing, bounced a little bit on landing. I've been bouncing all over the place on these landings today. I'm going to try to do better next time. So I got a little carried away with my landings, I guess. Just keep an eye on the marshaller. We're going to bring us in nice and steady like. There we go. We're here, the APU's on. We'll go ahead and set the parking brake. Shut down engine number 1. And we can turn off the beacon light as well. It wasn't very good parking. You know what, GSX? You're not very good. So, I can't help you with that. I don't know what the jetway's gonna do with this. here you go. Welcome everybody to Vienna, Austria. Wonder if that's somebody else here. I don't know. I don't know if that's some traffic or scenery traffic. There we go. Like I said, I apologize. A little bit shorter stream, but these are shorter flights. This dude's flying through the air, deboarding the plane. Love it. Amazing flight. Good job. Thank you. Play with controller. Man, I used to play FSX way back in the day with a controller. It can be difficult. It can be really difficult. All right. So that's going to do it for flying. I said I would show which planes I had installed, so I'll go ahead and do that. There's your final shot of this beautiful Austrian A320. Love it. I love this livery. It's so simple, but it gets the point across. Austrian and logo. That's all you need. But I'll jump to the main menu and I'll show you guys the add-ons that I have installed. Get rid of FS Realistic here. I apologize if I look a little bit sweaty. It's like 100 degrees Fahrenheit where I'm at right now. I don't know what that is in Celsius. F2C. For all you non-Americans, it's 37 degrees here. Hot as fuck. So I apologize if I look a little bit sweaty. And I did outside manual labor today. So that'll make me sweaty as well. All right, let's take a look here. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just kind of scroll through and I'll just... Why is it showing... Okay, turboprops. I have the ATR. I bought the upgrade for the Expert Series ATR. Absolutely love it. Has some quirks, has some issues, but I love the ATR. It's fun to fly. That's what matters to me. Scrolling through here, there's nothing else here that doesn't come with the sim. Go to rotorcrafts. I don't have any helicopters. I don't really fly helicopters very much. For the CJ4, I use the working title mod. I don't have it installed right now because I don't know what the situation is with it at the moment. If it's usable or not. Got these that come with it. Hercules H4, the longest wingspan of any plane ever. It's kind of fun. Let's see what we have in here. DC3. Absolutely love the DC3. It is a very fun plane to fly. There's a mod on Flight Sim 2 that I have for it. Don't know if it's for Xbox. I would doubt that it's the mod's for Xbox, but the DC3, very fun. I absolutely love the DC3. Also have the Just Flight Piper Arrow. It's a nice GA plane to fly around. I enjoy it a lot. It's a fun plane. I wanted something that wasn't a Cessna, so I got the Piper Arrow. Let's see what else. I don't know if I have any other propellers. Airliners. This is where it gets fun. Obviously ATR, A310. You should have an A310 that came with your sim. If not, I don't know, but I think they released a version of it for everybody. It's a very fun plane to fly. It's very quirky, but it's very fun. A320, that's the one we just flew. And then, of course, I have the fly-by-wire A320 Neo, which I love. Also have the Headwind A330. It runs off of the same stuff as fly-by-wire. And it's very fun to fly. Say it's not... it has a few bugs, but the bugs don't by no means override it being fun to fly. PMDG 737-800. It's the only version of the 737 I have, the only one I need. I can't afford to buy a million versions of the 737. I'm sorry, PMDG. I just can't do it. How do you get the A330? I don't know if it's available for Xbox. It's a company called Headwind Simulations. You might be able to Google them and see if it has Xbox support. I don't know if it does or not. I'm unsure on that one. But the A330 doesn't come with the sim. It's an add-on. Yeah, 737. I have the 737-800. I'm not buying a million versions of it. Also have the CRJ 700 and 550. I might bring this out next week for the live stream or something. I don't know. I want to fly the CRJ relatively soon. There's also the DC6. I love the DC6. Love the DC6. It's very fun. I know a lot of people aren't into classic prop liners in terms of watching streams, but I would really like to bring the DC6 out sometime. Everybody can try the Ford Tri-Motor right now. And then my baby. Absolutely love it. Leonardo MD-80. It's one of my favorite planes. IRL, the MD-80 is my favorite plane. Favorite jet plane. Lockheed Constellation is still my favorite plane, period. But I need to bring this bad boy out sooner rather than later. MD-80, I love the MD-80. It's such a quirky plane, but I love it. It's quirky, but it's not that much different from a 737. But yeah, that's my hangar. That's what I got. Does that work for you, Price? That's pretty much everything I got. Go to the marketplace and just show the airliner planes. Yeah, I can do that real quick. I'll show you what we got on here. Go marketplace. Aircraft. And let's do airliners. I can tell you what not to buy. This Just Flight is very good, I've heard. I haven't gotten it yet. I want to someday, but I've heard this is a very good plane. Obviously, you got your PMDGs. Don't buy these A320s. They're crap. Latin VFR ones. Don't do it. Don't buy this 737 Max or anything by Captain Sim. Screw Captain Sim. We don't like Captain Sim around here. But we got those. Concorde. CRJ, Aerosoft. We got some Embraers. I don't know anything about this company. Yeah, CRJ. That's what we have in airliners. Already did. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well, hey, since you have it, get some use out of it. Working Title also has these mods. I need to install these and give them a shot. They redid the avionics. Got a bunch of fighter jets. And the Antonov 225. Don't get the Embraer. There's somebody who's working on an Embraer who made kind of a bad impression on the community. But I'm hoping they can pull it off and make it a good plane, because I do like flying regional jets. Want to get the P-51. I don't know if it's good, but I want it. I love the P51. But yeah, that's what I got. That's what we got. See, look, CaptainSim's selling the freaking C130, but it's only the exterior. There's no cockpit. No virtual cockpit. This is why, CaptainSim? Why? What are you doing? You used to be decent. Now you're not. Gah. I had the CaptainSim L1011 and their 757 and their 767 back in the FSX days, and they were all great. I don't know what happened. But yeah, anyway. That's that. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and call it here. Need the C17. That would be fun to have. Be really fun to have. But I'm going to go ahead and call it here. If you want more of my face, there's some live streams, some videos on my channel. Feel free to go check them out. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you all have a fantastic day, night, morning, whatever time it is for you. You all stay safe, stay healthy, and I will catch you all in the next one. We'll see you next time.